Present in the virtual courtroom, we have the mother, Ms. Woodenberg. We have her attorney, Ms. Ortega. We have father, RT's father, Robert Thomas, his attorney, Ms. Mobilia, the children's attorney, Ms. Kosorik. We have Ms. Walcott, who's the foster worker in this matter. We have foster parents present and other agency workers. All right, Mr. Kosorik.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I would like to call Ms. Walcott, please.
All right, Ms. Walcott, would you unmute and raise your right hand, please?
I apologize for the noise from the outside. The sirens are coming. If I could have a second.
Yeah, sure. We'll just wait for them to pass.
Thank you. All right. Let's start with the proposed exhibits, Your Honor. Ms. Walcott, you are employed by Wellspring Lutheran Services?
Yes.
In the capacity of a foster care worker?
Yes.
And recently you became the new worker for this family?
Yes.
Your Honor, I do have 15 proposed exhibits. I sent a list of those to the court and likewise to counsel. I would simply like to list them all and move for their admission if there are no objections.
Any objections to
No
that?
objection. No objection.
Right. Go ahead, Mr. Kosorik.
Thank you. Number one being the updated service plan from Wellspring with its attached PATP dated February 5th of this year. As proposed to, there is a case service plan addendum. It's a 2-page addendum from Wellspring signed on March 12th of this year. As proposed number 3, there is a foster care supportive visitation logs for the mother, Ms. Woodenberg. As number proposed 4, foster care supportive visitation logs for Mr. Thomas. As proposed 5, substance abuse use assessment for Mr. Thomas that is signed on October 14th of 24. As proposed 6, there's a psychological assessment for Mr. Thomas. Number 7 being 8 forensic fluid screens for Mr. Thomas with dates from December 11th of 24 to March 5th of 25. As proposed 8, there are 4 forensic fluid screens for Ms. Woodenberg, dated 12/6 of 24 to 1/9 of 25. As proposed 9, there's an IEP evaluation for RJ, or RT, I should say. As proposed 10, Duncan Lake speech therapy notes for JT, RT, I should say. As proposed 11, EFC reauthorization for the mother, for Anaya. As number 12, trauma assessments report for AW dated 8/28 of 24. As number 13, Cherry Health report dated 1/2 of 25. It's a 1-page report for AW. As number 14, there is 1 sheet of AA attendance for the mother. The dates of attendance are from September 13th of 24 to November 11th of 24. And lastly, as proposed 15, YWCA discharge summary for Mr. Thomas dated 9/17 of 24.
Any objections to any of those exhibits?
No objection. No objection. Thank you.
All right, they're admitted.
It's a lot of paperwork, Your Honor. All right, Ms. Walcott, let's bring the court up to speed on the progress in this case. And of course, keep in mind, this is a permanency planning hearing likewise. So let's start with the children. Let's start with RT. How is he doing in his current placement?
He is doing he is doing good in his current placement. He's well bonded to the caregivers and is able to participate in all typical activities. He is attending school and noted to do well in there. He continues to be up to date on all medical and dental needs, and continues to regularly attend all scheduled appointments. He seems to be doing really well in the home.
All right. And I see that he is attending Duncan Lake Speech Therapy, and that is for his speech improvement and some of the stuttering issues that he has.
Correct.
And how is that progressing?
He's doing well in the service. It is recommended that he continue to receive the service, but he has made progress since starting.
Wonderful. I think you've mentioned that he's up to date on all his medical and dental checkups.
Yes.
All right. And likewise, does he have contact with his older sister, AW?
Yes, they have at least monthly contact.
And that is going well.
Yes, they really enjoy seeing each other.
All right. Currently, what's parenting time like for both parents with RT?
With Mrs. Woodenberg, parenting times have not been occurring due to her incarceration, but we would pick those back up upon her release. And for Mr. Thomas, parenting times have been unsupervised, and those have been going good as well.
I learned very recently that there was some sort of a CPS investigation at that home. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am.
That's still an ongoing investigation, is it not?
As far as I understand, yes.
All right. We'll address that issue when the report and the finalization comes in, correct?
Yes.
Does that cause you any concerns currently?
Not at this time.
All right. Wonderful. Anything else about RT?
Not at this time.
All right. Let's move on to AW. She is, of course, one thing, RT is placed in a relative home, correct?
Yes.
Cool. AW is placed in a licensed foster home.
Yes.
And let's update the court on her progress during this report period.
She is also up to date on all medical and dental needs. She's doing fairly well in school. She struggles some with her confidence in her abilities to complete assignments, specifically in regard to her Spanish class. She did just start a new trimester, and so we haven't been able to request grades in that department yet, but I'll provide the courts with an updated report of her grades once we are able to receive those. She has completed segment 1 of driver's training, and she is working on completing segment 2. She's been able to practice some of her driving skills with the foster parents, and there are no concerns reported by the caregivers. Both they and Anaya, AW report being well bonded to each other. They enjoy each other's company, and AW reports feeling safe and comfortable in the caregiver's home.
All right. One of the exhibits was the trauma assessment for AW.
Mm-hmm.
Has that trauma assessment been discussed with Miss Woodenberg and likewise with the foster parents?
I am unsure if it has been discussed with them. I know there was request at my previous home visit with the foster parents to discuss that trauma assessment, and so I am seeing AW in the home as well as the foster parents tomorrow, and we'll be bringing and providing them a copy of that trauma assessment, as well as I am working on sending that trauma assessment and those results to Ms. Woodenberg as well.
Wonderful. And are you incorporating the recommendations of the trauma assessment in the treatment plan?
Yes.
Okay. There are some concerns and challenges for AW as expressed in that trauma assessment, correct?
Yes.
And you will be working on that with both the foster parents, the parents, and the and AW, correct?
Yes.
All right. Anything else about AW that you think the court should be aware of that's not in your report?
Not at this time.
All right. Let's move on to the parents. Let's start with Ms. Woodenberg, who is currently incarcerated. By reading of your reports, it is stated that she is to be released in a couple of weeks, correct?
Correct.
But we're not sure yet. Is that a certain date?
I believe she has stated that it was either the March 27th, 25 or March 21st, 25. I believe it's the 27th, though.
All right. Wonderful. And while she's incarcerated, can you tell the court about what services you can provide her and what services she's able to get at the Kane County Correctional Facility?
Yes. Excuse me. We have been working on sending her jail packets monthly to work on barriers. These include packets and informational sheets on parenting skills, domestic violence, any area that is a need for Ms. Wittenberg. And she's been participating very actively in that. We've provided updated parent agency treatment plans for her as well. And sorry, my voice is going out. Provided updated parent agency treatment plans for her as well. And she's been able to provide her feedback on those as well. I believe due to how short the stay is, there are not a lot of resources that she's been able to participate in within the facility. However, upon her release, we would like to return to some of the services we were working prior to her incarceration. These include her therapy services, as well as re-referring her to foster care supportive visitation to ensure that she would be able to complete that program as well.
All right. Is she awaiting sentencing on the 27th, or has she been sentenced already pursuant to a plea agreement that she entered into?
Yes, she pled guilty to charges, and that 27th day is her release date from incarceration.
All right. And the charges that she pled to involved AW as a victim, correct?
Yes.
Right. Currently, Ms. Woodenberg, there's a no contact order for parenting time, or the parenting time, I should say, is suspended between Ms. Woodenberg and AW. Do you believe that's in AW's best interest to continue that no contact provision?
At this time, yes.
And that is because of the things that AW has expressed in the past and currently, correct?
Yes.
All right. Anything else about AW that you believe the court should be aware of that's not in your reports or your testimony here today?
Not at this time.
Okay. Let's move on to Mr. Thomas. Can you update the court on his progress in his parent agency agreement?
Yes. Mr. Thomas is doing well. He has completed the foster care supportive visitation and has was successfully discharged from that program. He has been participating in unsupervised visits with RT, and those have been going well. It is reported that Mr. Thomas and RT are very well bonded, and that there are no current concerns with that relationship. Mr. Thomas does continue to participate in drug screens and has not been positive for any substances other than THC. Within the reporting period, he is currently working on getting his medical marijuana card, although it has been challenging for him to obtain that card. In a meeting I had with him at the beginning of March 25, we talked about only purchasing THC from a dispensary to ensure the contents of the marijuana that he was purchasing. He believes that the positive drug screen from October may have been due to him purchasing marijuana off the streets. So we did create that safety plan to only purchase the marijuana from a dispensary to ensure the contents of the marijuana.
And let me interrupt for a second. And by October of last year, the screen came back positive for cocaine, correct?
Correct.
All right, please continue.
Mr. Thomas continues to participate in therapy, and it is reported that he is engaging in that. We're still waiting on a response from therapists to provide an update on his services at this time, but it's reported that he is participating in those, and there are no concerns in that area as well.
Currently, he doesn't have his own housing.
Correct.
What assistance is the agency providing him to obtain his own housing?
I have not had the chance to look into the services that had already been provided. I believe Mr. Thomas was seeking Section 8. And there was also talk about Mr. Thomas moving back in with his mother should reunification occur.
All right. And does he have any employment?
He informed me of a job interview that he has had earlier this month. However, I have not received verification of employment at this time.
So there's those two areas at least are still areas of need for him, correct?
Correct.
How are his parenting skills?
According to the foster care supportive visitation, they stated that he has sufficient parenting skills. There were no concerns noted in there. He made progress, and he reports benefiting from that service as well, feeling like it helped him improve his parenting skills as well.
Okay. Of course, all of his screens have been positive for marijuana. However, marijuana is legal in this state, right?
Correct.
However, you will urge him to either get a medical marijuana card or refrain from using marijuana because that will make him a better parent.
Correct.
Wonderful. Any other needs for Mr. Thomas?
Not at this time.
Did you have a chance to review the psychological that was introduced as exhibit number 6 that was done by Dr. Jeffrey Kilarshevsky back in September of last year? And there are some diagnoses that are important to note. Do you have any concerns about those diagnoses?
I know that it was noted that there was concerns with antisocial personality disorder, and there being concerns about Mr. Thomas potentially being deceitful because of that diagnosis. We have not experienced any sort of deception or deceit when working with Mr. Thomas. He is very upfront and owns up to the things that he has done and participated in. And so at this time, I have no concerns in that area, but we'll continue to monitor and ensure accuracy of information that the agency is being provided.
Have you observed any of his parenting times with RJ?
I have not. When I received the case on February 7th of 25, the parenting times were already moved to unsupervised visits. And so we maintained those unsupervised visits.
No reports of him being under the influence of THC, and that would affect his ability to have parenting time at this point?
No.
Wonderful. Any other needs that Mr. Thomas could benefit from?
Not at this time.
Okay. Anything else about this case that you think the court should be aware of?
Not at this time.
All right. Let me ask you a few parental planning questions. With the return of the children back home to their parent or parents cause a substantial risk of harm to their life, health, physical or mental well-being?
Yes.
And what is that?
At this time, we would need to continue working with Mr. Thomas and Ms. Woodenberg to identify the barriers that were outlined today of emotional stability, substance use, and parenting skills, as well as housing, to be able to deem it appropriate for the children to be reunified, as well as obtaining the reports from the ongoing CPS investigation.
All right. Would initiation of termination proceedings be in the best interest of the children?
No.
And why is that?
At this time, Ms. Woodenberg and Mr. Thomas have a positive relationship with their children, and it would not be in their best interest to terminate parental rights due to that.
And there's partial progress, correct, being made?
Correct.
All right. Likewise, has the out-of-home placement for each individual child, have they followed the reasonable and prudent parenting standards as defined in the statute, and that both children have had the regular opportunity to engage in age or developmentally appropriate activity?
Yes.
Can you give us an example or two for each child?
Yes. RT is able to participate in outside of school activities such as hanging out with friends, playing outside, playing with cousins, interacting with family members. And AW is able to do the same things. She's able to attend school regularly, participate in outside of school activities, attend church if she wanted to, and she does attend church. And she's able to participate in all of those things.
Thank you. What are your recommendations?
It is respectfully recommended that AW and RT remain temporary court wards under the care and supervision of the Department of Health and Human Services and Wellspring Lutheran Services. AW and RT remain placed in their relative placements or licensed foster home. Ms. Woodenberg and Mr. Thomas comply with and benefit from the parent agency treatment agreement. Mr. Thomas's parenting times remain supervised or unsupervised at the agency's discretion. Ms. Woodenberg's parenting times be supervised or unsupervised at the agency's discretion. No contact order between AW and Ms. Woodenberg continues. Parenting times between AW and Ms. Woodenberg remain suspended. The permanency goal remain reunification, and this matter be reviewed in 90 days.
Let me ask you just a follow-up question on the permanency goal for AW. Have you and your supervisor discussed the possibility of moving AW to an APLA recommendation?
Yes, we have.
All right. And that is not your recommendations today?
No, it is not, due to her not being 16 yet.
All right. And she will be turning 16 pretty quickly here, correct?
Yes, in July.
And that is something that you will discuss and look into for the upcoming hearing?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Ortega.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a few questions, Ms. Walcott. Are you aware of Ms. Woodenberg in the reason why she's incarcerated right now?
Yes.
Okay, why is that?
Due to breaking the no contact order between herself and AW.
Okay, and what is your understanding of that situation?
It's my understanding that Ms. Woodenberg had made a TikTok video that was directed towards Anaya.
Okay, did she send it to Anaya?
I am not sure on if it was sent to Anaya or not. Sorry.
Do you know who viewed the video and reported her?
I am not aware of that information at this point. I would need to review my notes to be able to provide that answer.
Okay. And it's not because she has not consumed alcohol, to your knowledge, correct?
No.
Okay. And so at this point, her bond was revoked because of the TikTok video she posted?
Yes.
Okay. And then you said she's being sentenced at her next hearing, correct?
I believe she'd already been sentenced as being released on that March 27th, 25 date.
Okay. When she's released, well, let me back up. Have you, I think last time we were here, the worker was going to speak with Anaya's counselor about reintegrating some therapeutic time with Miss Woodenberg. Have you followed up with that counselor at all?
I was unaware that that was a need at this point, but I can follow up with the therapist for the next court hearing to ensure what that would look like.
And are you aware, well, you're probably not if you're not aware if she's been sentenced or not, but are you able to confirm when you do confirm a sentencing, whether or not a no contact is continued between Anaya and Miss Woodenberg in the criminal matter?
Yes, I'll be sure to identify whether that no contact order is to continue.
Thank you. But for Miss Woodenberg's incarceration, were there any concerns with the agency and her progress?
Not at this point. She was doing really well in her progress towards reunification while before incarceration. Our hope and desire would be to continue that upon her release.
And she was making all of her parenting times with RJ?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Mobilia.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Can I ask you at what point you would consider reunification with RJ and Mr. Thomas? It looks like housing is an issue, but he can live with his parents, right?
Yes.
Or live with the relative caregiver, correct?
Yes.
And so the only other issue is employment.
It is employment. However, we would also need to obtain the results from the CPS investigation as well.
Okay. And do we know when that's coming?
I am not aware of when that report will be finalized.
Okay. So he has unsupervised visits. He finished the supportive visitation. Really, him testing for THC, it's really not extraordinary levels, correct?
Correct.
He's in therapy.
Correct.
He's always been upfront and honest, so the psych eval, which is, like 6 months or 7 months old, really hasn't been an issue in this case, correct?
Correct.
So it's fair to say he's made substantial progress.
Yes.
Would you consider asking the court for a dual order today for Mr. Thomas?
Can you repeat the question?
Would you consider a dual order today for Mr. Thomas if the court would order with KRP or some other services in the home after the CPS issue is resolved?
Yes, but we would need to identify overnights and a safety plan prior to being able to. Sorry. Yes, we would. With the understanding that we might not use it. My apologies.
Okay. So expansion of Mr. Thomas's parenting time might be appropriate at this time, including overnights in the relative caregiver's home, correct?
Yes.
Is that something that the agency is going to move towards in this report period?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Kasorik, any follow-up?
Yes, Your Honor, real quickly. Ms. Walcott, pursuant to Attorney Ortega's questioning about any other services that Ms. Woodenberg would benefit from, etc., do you, from your perspective, has she internalized the damage she has caused to AW with her behaviors as she was working a treatment plan and attempting to contact her via, I believe, FaceTime or some sort of a video.
It's my understanding that Miss Woodenberg has understood that the contact she had with AW was not appropriate at that time, and Miss Woodenberg has stated that she will respect AW's wishes to have no communication at this time.
Wonderful. Thank you. Nothing further.
Ms. Ortega, any follow-up?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Mobilia?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. Statements, or actually, Mr. Kasork, any further witnesses?
No other evidence, Your Honor.
Any further evidence or any evidence, Ms. Ortega?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Mobilia, same question. Any evidence?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, statements, Mr. Kasork.
Thank you, Your Honor. I did have a chance to visit with both children in their respective placements just recently. AW's doing very well in her current placement. RT is doing well likewise. I'm concerned about the ongoing CPS investigation and some other concerns that were referenced to me. So I believe that the recommendation, at least at this time, are appropriate for both AW. I ask that the parenting time for Ms. Woodenberg be suspended as to her. That child is doing well. She needs a lot of therapy, and the foster parents are providing that therapy, and so is the agency. So she's doing well. RT is doing well in his placement. Mr. Thomas still needs some improvement in his parent agency agreement, and I think the recommendation currently of just either supervised or unsupervised parenting time for Mr. Thomas is appropriate. I would object to a dual order at this point until we figure out what's going on with the CPS investigation and some progress in employment and housing. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Mobilia?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I believe the testimony of Ms. Walcott was that she really wasn't concerned about the CPS case, and my request for a dual order was based on the fact that housing would be resolved if he could live with the relative caregiver. I don't know if he became employed by his 3-6 interview, but certainly that is something that can be worked on over the next report period. But he's made, according to the workers, substantial progress, done everything he's supposed to. There are really, except for this CPS issue, no issues or concerns regarding his parenting or his therapy or his involvement with the agency. So I asked the court to consider a dual order and that the agency begin expansion of his parenting time, including overnights.
Right. Thank you. The court finds that the guardian ad litem has complied with the requirements of the statute.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I didn't get to make a statement. And
I'm sorry, Ms. Ortega. I'm sorry. Thank you for interrupting me. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I better make a couple of requests here. First of all, when I first learned that my client was incarcerated, I was worried that there was a bond violation for alcohol. I know that sobriety has been something she's really worked on. Not happy to see that she's incarcerated, but glad to hear that she's still sober, that is the biggest piece of the pie for her in this. And she was heavily intoxicated in the incident that brought the children into care. And so she's still continuing to work. She's taking accountability. From reading the record for the criminal matter, my understanding is there's sentencing, but the charge has been dropped to a lower charge. So my thought is she's probably going to be released with time served, is what they've discussed. So hopefully she will be out very soon, back at it. Things were going very well prior to her incarceration. I think as to RJ, those recommendations are appropriate. I think unsupervised time for her, once she, meets with Miss Walcott and gets things back on track with services, will be quick coming for her on that, because things had been going very well with parenting time and her services before her incarceration. As far as Anaya, I understand the no contact provision. I do know that Ms. Woodenberg's in this situation because there have been periods of time where Anaya did reach out to Ms. Woodenberg, and it's very hard as a mom. It continues to be said she doesn't want to talk to her. She doesn't want to do that. There's evidence saying otherwise. And so that being said, I would hate to just cut off communication, and if the criminal matter does not continue, no contact order is part of her any kind of probation or sentence period. In this matter, I think at least an order that says once a TDM or something is put together with the agency, a meeting and therapeutic intervention can start with Mariah and Anaya. I think that would be helpful. But again, that the order can be phrased to at the discretion of Anaya's therapist, and then also a meeting with the agency, so that it's not just something that they walk into brazenly that has to be ordered. But I think that should be allowable if the professionals think that's agreeable, instead of going another 90 days with a strict no contact in this case. So that's the only amendment that I would ask for at this time. And hopefully, it sounds like both parents have been doing very well. So hopefully in another 90 days, we'll be in a great position. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, and again, my apologies, Ms. Ortega, for completely skipping over you. So sorry. All right. The court does find that the lawyer guardian ad litem has complied with the statute, that returning either of these children to a parent today would cause a substantial risk of harm to the children's life, physical health, or mental well-being, that the children should not be returned to a parent, that the agency should not initiate proceedings to terminate parental rights to the children because both parents have made, I'm not going to say substantial, but significant progress. And we are not yet at the 1-year mark quite. That reasonable efforts have been made to return and preserve and reunify the family, make it possible for these children to return home. That in accordance with the statute, progress towards alleviating or mitigating the conditions that cause the children to be placed in or remain in temporary foster care has not been made by either parent, at least not to the extent that the children could be returned today. That each of these children's continued placement is necessary and appropriate, is meeting each of their needs. That the needs of each of these children can be met in a foster family home. That reasonable efforts have been made to finalize the court-approved permanency plan of return to a parent. That permanency planning goal continues to be appropriate. That the foster homes have followed the reasonable and prudent parenting standard, and that the children have had regular opportunities to engage in age or developmentally appropriate activities. Each of those child individually has had that opportunity. That the siblings are not in joint placement because one child is placed with the paternal grandmother and the other one is placed with fictive kin. That sibling contact is occurring according to law. The court will continue its prior order that parenting time of Ms. Woodenberg and AW, even if supervised, may be harmful to that child. That has been a continuing finding of this court, and until there's evidence that would indicate otherwise, the court's not going to change that at this time. That doesn't mean that it can't be changed. It's just that I haven't heard sufficient evidence today to convince me of that. It's ordered that the children continue in the protective temporary custody of this court, continue placement with the Department for Care and Supervision. That the adjudicated respondents comply with and benefit from the case service plan. That parenting time of AW with Mr. Tom, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the last order, which needs to be corrected, it looks like. That parenting time of mother with RT is at the discretion of the agency to allow unsupervised or supervised parenting time. That parenting time of Mr. Thomas is at the discretion of the agency. I'll continue the attorneys in this matter. And Ms. Gibson, do you have a date for our next hearing? Ms. Walcott, I think your frog jumped to me.
Yes, Your Honor, Wednesday, June 11 at 9 a.m.
I already have a hearing that I'm LGA on at 9 a.m.
How is 10 a.m., Ms. Mobilia?
10 a.m. would work.
Does that work for everybody else?
It will work, Your Honor, for me. Will that be a review or another PPH, Your Honor?
When is the birthday? The birthday's in July, is it not?
Correct. So maybe, yeah.
It'd just be another review.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anything further?
And the court at this time is not considering the dual order. Is that correct, Your Honor?
No, I don't. I think there are a couple barriers here. Well, significantly, the CPS history or investigation needs to be completed, and I think there's case law that the court should not consider placement at all until that's completed. So, no, I'm not going to do a dual order at this time.
Okay,
Certainly,
thank
if
you.
everything gets cleared up, and then that the court, the agency can certainly consider a return, and we can have another hearing if necessary.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mother Mariah Woodenberg, her attorney Kendra Ortega. We have Father Robert Thomas, his attorney Donna Mobilia. We have the child's attorney Roman Kasorik, various agency workers, as well as foster parents. Mr. Kasorik,
Thank you. I would call Miss Walcott.
would you raise your right hand, please?
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Walcott, you are employed by Wellspring Lutheran Services, correct?
Yes,
In a capacity of a foster care worker, and you have become the worker on this case and this family sometime early in February of this year, correct?
correct.
And I believe you're like the third worker on this case.
Yes.
All right. For this hearing, you provided the court and counsel with some reports, and let me simply list them and ask for their introduction into evidence, barring any objection, Your Honor. Number one, being the case service plan with its attached parent agency agreements and the Honorable Judge report that's dated 5/6 of this year, as proposed to enhanced foster care quarterly report for Anaya that was signed on 4/24 of 25. As proposed 3, Family Outreach Center 1-page letter of 3/10 of 25. As number 4, forensic fluid lab reports. There's 8 of them total for Mr. Thomas, beginning from the sample dates from 2/20 of 25 to 4/28 of 25. And as proposed 5, we have a forensic fluid lab reports, 3 total for Ms. Woodenberg, and they're dated from 5/2 of 25 to 5/15 of 25.
Any objection?
No objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. They are admitted.
Thank you. First of all, Ms. Walcott, I know you're new on this, but I think the report is dated 5/6 of 25. And usually we do get an update or a case service plan addendum if it's over 30 days since the date of that report. Any reason why we don't have one?
I am sorry. I did not get one. And that's on me. I will make sure that in the future, we send a addendum to the courts to update them within that 30-day window. I apologize.
All right. Did you speak about that issue with your supervisor?
Not yet, but following this meeting, we will make a plan to make sure that that does not occur again.
All right. Likewise, did you receive my email of like 3 days ago when I requested an addendum?
I do not remember receiving that email. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Let's make sure that we're up to date. Are you able to testify about the progress in this case since the date of the report dated 5/6 of 25?
Yes.
Wonderful. So let's start with the children. Let's start with Thomas, RJ. can you, or as the court refers to him as RT, can you update the court on his progress? He's currently placed in relative foster care, correct?
Yes.
And how is he doing?
He is very well bonded to the caregivers. He's able to participate in typical age-appropriate activities. He just finished the school year and was noted to do well. He is continuing to participate in speech therapy through Duncan Lakes and is also making progress there as well.
All right. I know that he had some behavioral issues at school that's noted in your report. How is that being addressed?
The school was able to handle those behaviors and address them with RJ at school, as well as the foster parents and Miss Woodenberg and Mr. Thomas also addressing those with RT as well.
All right. And is RT up to date on all of his medical and dental checkups?
Yes.
Okay. He's just a normal young little boy who's full of energy, isn't he?
Yes.
And he's doing very well in his placement.
Yes.
His parenting times with the parents, how are they going?
They're going really well from what's being reported. Mr. Thomas has been participating in unsupervised visits and has also, within the reporting period, begun participating in overnights at the foster home as well. These have been reported to be going well. RJ is very bonded to Mr. Thomas. They have a good relationship, and there are no concerns at this point with their parenting times. With Miss Woodenberg, she began unsupervised parenting times at the beginning of May of 2025. And she's begun overnights as well, effective 5/22/25. And those have also been going well. Both Mr. Thomas and Miss Woodenberg have talked through safety plan, ensuring that RT has what he needs when he is participating in those overnights, and there have been no concerns regarding parenting times at this point.
It's fine to call him RJ. That's what he goes by. That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right. And then you've noted that the parenting time go well. That's been reported to you. Who does the reporting?
The foster parents, as well as the Miss Woodenberg and Mr. Thomas, report on how the parenting times have gone.
All right. Have you had a chance to at least watch some of the parenting times yourself?
I have not been able to watch those parenting times, but the foster parent is able to supervise those parenting times, and she's been cleared by our agency, and she has not reported any concerns at this point.
All right. Anything else about RJ?
Not at this time.
All right. Let's move to our older one, AW. How is AW doing?
AW is doing well in her foster home. She's very well bonded to the caregivers. She has just finished school as well and made significant progress in her schooling. During the last trimester, she received I believe it was a 2.4 GPA in comparison to her GPA of the last trimester of a 1.7. So we've seen significant increase in her schooling and her drive and motivation to increase her education, as well as she will be participating in some summer school just to continue with her education as well.
All right. AW is 15 years of age, and at 15, she does pretty well in her current placement, doesn't she?
Yes.
However, although she has grown academically and socially, the foster parents have some concern about some of her mental stabilities. How is that being addressed?
AW participates in mental health counseling with a therapist that she's been seeing since middle school. She has a great relationship with this therapist, and they have been able to talk through a lot of her mental health concerns at this point, so that as well as she is taking some psychotropic medication to aid in her emotional stability as well.
Lately, are you aware of an incident where she had some issues and unfortunately attempted to leave the home?
I am.
And did you have a discussion with AW about that issue?
Yes, I conducted a home visit, I believe yesterday or the day before, where I had a conversation with the caregiver as well as AW regarding the circumstances of what occurred. The foster parents expressed having a conversation with AW as well as having some significant progress in that conversation regarding coping skills and how to handle circumstances in the future that should come up or would come up, and how to address those in a different way that would result in a more positive outcome.
In short, it appears that after the tension being built up inside of her and simply just exploding or blowing up, she does recognize that that behavior is simply not acceptable. It's not appropriate, correct?
Yes.
And that's a big step in her mental health treatment, is it not?
Yes.
Likewise, did you have a chance to review the comprehensive trauma assessment that was introduced as an exhibit at our last hearing for AW?
I believe I have looked at it.
All right. Do you know whether or not there's some recommendation that could be utilized in the parent agency agreement for AW from that trauma assessment?
Is there a specific recommendation you're referring to?
I am. It's recommended that she do some trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, TFCBT treatment. Is that progressing in any respect?
I do believe her therapist is aware of that, and I can follow up with her therapist to ensure that that is still being utilized within their therapy sessions.
Right. So you'll follow up on that, correct?
Yes.
Otherwise, AW is currently receiving driver's training, and I believe she finished stage 1.
Yes.
And she's very excited about that.
Yes.
Likewise, she is employed part-time at, I believe, Burger King.
Yes.
And what does she report about her job?
She reports that she doesn't love working, but that she goes, it's a job.
Just normal teenage stuff, right?
Yes.
All right. And currently AW, I believe, is at a camp.
Yes.
And she was really looking forward to that. So I'm glad that that's being accomplished, right?
Yes.
Can you tell the court a little bit about summer planning for AW?
AW is participating in a summer camp as well as going on a trip later in the summer to hopefully with her foster parents to Disney, pending a travel letter signed by Miss Woodenberg.
And AW, at least until recently, has indicated that she did not wish contact with her mom, correct?
Correct.
However, lately there have been some vacillating on that point. Have you looked into that issue? Have you spoken with people that are necessary to make that proper decision? And what is the result?
Yes, I spoke with the caregivers as well as AW yesterday, and AAW indicated that she would like to participate in a therapy session with her therapist and Miss Woodenberg, just to have that initial contact in a setting where she does have that supportive person of her therapist present.
So she is at least at this point ready to make at least some baby steps towards seeing and having contact with her mother?
Yes.
And do you believe that it would be appropriate at this time to have a therapist and a counselor involved so we take those steps very gingerly?
I do.
All right. And you will work on that, correct?
Yes.
And do you know whether or not the foster parents are in agreement with those baby steps?
They are.
Wonderful. Anything else about AW?
Not at this time.
All right, let's move on. By the way, do the siblings see each other on a regular basis?
Yes, they see each other at least monthly.
Right? And AW really wants to be a really supportive person for little RJ, correct?
Yes.
She loves him and she misses him a lot.
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's move on to the parents. First of all, what efforts have you made to try to identify the legal father for AW?
At this point, we have participated in conversations with Miss Woodenberg. However, no identified individuals have come forward at this time.
Okay, let's move on to the progress of the parents. Let's start with Mr. Thomas. Can you update the court on his progress about his employment, housing, etc.?
Mr. Thomas has stated that he is employed. He is working third shift. The agency is waiting to receive verification of that employment. In a conversation that I had with Mr. Thomas earlier this week, we were attempting to pull up that verification, but the app of the verification was not working. And so I am still waiting on that verification of employment. However, Mr. Thomas has stated that he is employed and participating in that third shift. Mr. Thomas is still residing with friends, but is the caregivers are open to having Mr. Thomas move back in with the relative caregiver should reunification occur.
So right now, although he tells you that he is employed, you have no verification of that, correct?
Correct. So the app was down when we were trying to look at that together.
You'll still work on that and try to get that from him?
Yes.
Likewise, his housing is kind of in a state of flux. He's staying with friends.
Yes.
He would like to move in with his mother, correct?
Yes.
And that is the caregiver for his son, correct?
Yes.
What can you tell us about that plan, if anything?
The relative caregiver has stated that Mr. Thomas is able to move in with them. I have seen the room that Mr. Thomas would stay in should he move back in with the caregivers. Additionally, the relative caregiver is trying to move out of the home that they are currently living in and obtain an apartment where RJ, the relative caregiver, and Mr. Thomas could all live together. That would be a little less busy than the current house that they're in.
Any issues with domestic relations that need to be addressed with Mr. Thomas?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Let's move on to substance abuse. Although nothing illegal, it seems that he is using or smoking marijuana on a regular basis.
Correct.
And that's, of course, indicated in the forensic fluid labs.
Yes.
Any concerns about his usage of regularly of THC?
At this time, there is a safety plan in place to ensure that Mr. Thomas is not using any substance around RJ. And there is also a verbal safety plan in place for Mr. Thomas to purchase his marijuana from a dispensary to ensure that no additional illicit substances could be in the marijuana that he is purchasing. So at this point, Mr. Thomas does appear to be following those safety plans, and there have been no additional substances found on any of the forensic fluid labs at this time.
From your observation, does it affect his parenting skills?
No.
Okay. Likewise, what's the reason he's given you for the use of marijuana on a regular basis?
I'm not sure he's given a specific reason, other than the calming effects of it. Yes.
He doesn't have a medical marijuana prescription for that.
At this time, no.
Any other needs of Mr. Thomas currently that you believe you could testify to?
Not at this time.
All right. His parenting skills are good?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
All right. Let's move on to Miss Woodenberg. Let's update the court on her progress. She was released from the Kent County Correctional Facility mid-April of this year, correct?
Correct.
And since then, let's talk about her progress. Is she currently employed?
I believe she just obtained employment at a hotel, and that started within the last couple weeks, and so I am waiting to receive verification of employment from her as well.
All right. Housing.
She does have a stable housing. Her apartment is appropriate, and we have worked with Care Portal to request for additional furniture and things for her apartment to aid in her having an appropriate space should a child return to her care.
What is her income to your knowledge currently, and how does she afford her housing?
At this point, it's my understanding that Ms. Woodenberg is utilizing Section 8 to aid in her housing. And I'm not aware of the current income that she makes from her job at this point.
Okay. So that needs to be developed a little bit more fully for the next hearing, correct?
Yes.
All right. Substance abuse, any issues?
Ms. Woodenberg has been participating in randomized drug screens and all have come back negative. At this point, Ms. Woodenberg, based upon our records, has been sober for over 6 months. So this is seen as a strength for her.
Okay. Speaking of her forensic fluid labs, they are negative for at least the 3 that we received for illegal substances. However, I don't see any testing for alcohol that was performed by forensic fluids. Since her history is alcohol and substance abuse issues, do you think that would be an appropriate test to also be testing for on a regular basis?
Yes, we did add those special requests in within the last since that report came out, and Ms. Woodenberg has also tested negative for alcohol as well. We are writing that special request in on hers.
Okay, wonderful. That was one question that I really needed to address with you. Will you be providing us results of all those tests?
Yes.
Because the last one that we have, the collection date is 5/15, so it's pretty close to a month old, correct?
Yes.
And how many times has Ms. Woodenberg been tested for illegal substances or alcohol since 5/15 of this year?
She has been tested, I believe, 3 times since that that last test on 5/15. I did review those prior to the court hearing, and she was negative for alcohol and other substances on all of those as well.
Wonderful, thank you. Parenting skills, can you tell us a little bit about her progress in that area?
Miss Woodenberg has been participating in unsupervised and then overnights with.
And that's with JR, correct?
Yes, with
Right.
yes, with RJ. And those have been going well. As far as parenting skills with AW, they are not having parenting times at this point, but as was previously discussed, we will be looking into that joint therapy session to aid in their kind of breaking the ice in their relationship in an environment that AW feels comfortable in.
Okay. Any other areas of concern from your perspective?
Not at this time.
Anything else about this case that's not in your testimony or the reports that we've submitted today?
I do not believe so.
Your recommendations?
It is respectfully recommended that AW and RJ remain temporary court wards under the care and supervision of the Department of Health and Human Services and Wellspring Lutheran Services. AW remains placed within a relative placement or licensed foster home. RJ remains placed within a relative placement, a licensed foster home, or in the parental home at the agency discretion. Ms. Woodenberg and Mr. Thomas comply with and benefit from the parent agency treatment agreement. Mr. Thomas's parenting times remain supervised or unsupervised at the discretion of the agency. Ms. Woodenberg's parenting times remain supervised or unsupervised at the discretion of the supervising agency. The permanency goal remain reunification at this time. A permanency planning hearing be scheduled and the matter be reviewed in 90 days.
Thank you.
I just have a couple questions real quick. Enhanced foster care was in the home with RJ at one point. Is it still in the foster home?
Enhanced foster care is
I'm
not.
sorry, AW. I got
Yes.
the wrong one. AW.
Yes, enhanced foster care is still in the home with AW, and they're actively working on goals with her.
Okay. And then, if I understood, you're asking for a dual order for RJ?
Yes.
And what would be the condition that would allow return if there's a dual order?
We would like to verify that Ms. Woodenberg and Mr. Thomas do have those appropriate resources within their home. Like I said earlier, Ms. Woodenberg worked with a local church to ensure that she had appropriate resources in her apartment, such as a bed, a couch, furniture, things like that. So I will be scheduling a home visit with Ms. Woodenberg within the next couple weeks to verify her housing, as well as ensuring that that Mr. Thomas and Ms. Woodenberg continue working their parent agency treatment plan and continue working with their therapist through the Family Outreach Center.
Okay, so I'm trying to identify the trigger for the purposes of an order. So when would it be safe for RJ to be placed back with a parent? Are you saying after the home visit, assuming that the home visit checks all the boxes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kosora, any follow-up questions?
Thank you, Your Honor. Are you also recommending that maybe can't FRP be involved in that process?
Sorry, yes, I am. We would like to have them enrolled in that process as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Ortega.
Thank you, Your Honor. And that was the one question I wanted to ask was about kind of reunification program. But just to highlight, even while Ms. Woodenberg was incarcerated, would you consider her to be very cooperative with her treatment plan?
Yes.
Okay. And things have been consistent on her end while you have worked with her?
Yes.
All right. Has she missed any tests?
No.
Okay.
There were a few that were delayed due to the agency being closed, but she ensured to communicate with me on the same day of the agency being closed, as well as coming in the following day to ensure that test was done.
Okay, thank you. So it sounds clear, no concerns with her at this time. You're just waiting for KRP and the home visit at this point.
Yes.
All right. And do you've identified therapists that would be able to start that session with Ms. Woodenberg and her daughter?
Yes. With AW's primary therapist to set up that therapy session.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Ms. Mobilia.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Ms. Walcott, are you suggesting that there be a dual order for both parents?
Yes.
And has there been some discussion with them obtaining a court order regarding custody and parenting time?
I have discussed that with Ms. Woodenberg and Mr. Thomas regarding that, and did encourage them to reach out to their attorneys to be able to discuss that custody agreement.
Okay, so the goal is a reunification with both parents, but we don't know exactly. I mean, can Mr. Thomas's start sooner than later, or what's the plan for Mr. Thomas?
We would hope to enroll both Ms. Woodenberg and Mr. Thomas in those KRP services to aid in both of them reunifying with RJ.
Okay, so if KRP is available and right away and Mr. Thomas has everything in order, you can start with him first, right? Because you still have to check out Miss Woodenberg's home. I'm just trying to say, are you saying you're going to do them on the same day, or it doesn't matter when it happens? It's just the home is appropriate, then we can start. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes, at this point, with reunification with Mr. Thomas, it would be occurring within the relative caregiver home. So at this point, we have already verified their housing at this time and have deemed it appropriate. But we do want Mr. Thomas and Miss Woodenberg to be successful in the KRP program and in the return home. And so we would refer both of them to KRP services and have a TDM to discuss the transition home process.
Okay. But if KRP was able to start with Mr. Thomas next week and maybe not Miss Woodenberg, you wouldn't stop that from occurring.
Correct.
Okay. And the only thing he really needs to get you is verification of employment, but from your perspective, it was just because that site was not working.
Correct.
Okay. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Any follow-up, Mr. Kosarik?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Ortega?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Any additional witnesses, Mr. Kosarik?
No, Your Honor, I have no additional witnesses. I would say that at least the foster parents, both for JR, or RJ, I should say, and AWR here, maybe they wish to make a short little statement.
Do either of the foster parents wish to say anything? And if you do, please just unmute. Okay, appears not.
It appears not.
All right.
Thank you.
Ms. Ortega, any additional witnesses?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Mobilia?
No additional evidence or witnesses, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Kosarik, statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. I did have the opportunity to see both children in their current placements. I saw AW a couple of days ago. She's doing very well in her foster home. She does vacillate between wanting to have contact with mom and not. At that age, it's really hard for her to disappoint anybody, and I think that's probably the big reason. I think that we need to take baby steps in the contact between Miss Woodenberg and AW, and I think the therapist involvement in this process is very important. She does love her mom, and that's expected, and that's great. However, her past experiences have caused a lot of heartache and a lot of mental anguish for her, so that needs to be addressed very slowly. RJ is doing very well in his placement. Likewise, I'm glad to see that Ms. Woodenberg is done with her criminal matters. Mr. Thomas, likewise, and they're doing well in their parent agency agreements. I just hope that the agency can step up and get some verifications of their progress instead of relying just on the statements of both parents and the caregivers at this point. So I think the recommendations are very appropriate. I would ask the court to follow those recommendations. As far as the dual order is concerned, I think Ms. Woodenberg and Mr. Thomas need to address custody issues likewise too. The past instabilities do concern me a little bit, but I think I'll leave it to the agency's discretion for the dual order. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Ortega.
Thank you, Your Honor. The recommendations do appear to be appropriate. And I believe it was the last time we were here, the court discussed taking things slowly, just making sure progress continues because of Ms. Woodenberg's high participation and involvement in this case and doing so well, but still being cautious. And it proves that that's necessary. And she's still continuing on the path, has served her sentence and just still on the same path, which is very good to see. Also, she's been very understanding of the hesitations of AW, understanding of that process, is not behind the scenes demanding that she see her child and be returned. And so I'm very happy to hear that the child's in a spot to start this therapeutic time with mom. And I know that Miss Woodenberg must be over the moon today to hear that, and that's going to be forthcoming. And I know behind the scenes she's taking accountability. I hope those sessions go well and show that to AW as well. As far as RJ, a dual order is appropriate. I would remind everybody in the court, I think the current custody orders is a mom that has custody. And so unless those things change, I think that the child, if there's going to be a release, and it sounds like right now the agency believes release to either parent could be obtained, that the child should be released to the parent with custody, unless that changes. And so until that does, I think Ms. Woodenberg's home is, and I guess it could depend on if one party completed the other, but I don't think that this case is a race to see who gets custody here and then create a mess over there. So I think the streamlined process is to do that unless there's other orders and other cases that change, and that could happen. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mobilia.
Yes, Your Honor. The last time we were here in March, what needed, I mean, Mr. Thomas had significant progress then. Things that were in the way were him getting employment, which he has now, in housing. And we did talk about him moving into the relative caregiver's home. He provided all the transportation for RJ for school and things like that, and assisted. I'm not saying to rush to the courthouse regarding this, Your Honor, but if the parent can be there and KRP can be in, it normalizes the situation for RJ. So I asked the court to adopt the recommendation, and the parties kind of work on the custody agreement if they can. If not, I guess they'll appear before you at a motion regarding that issue. But I do think the recommendations are appropriate at this time.
Thank you. The court finds that the lawyer guardian ad litem has complied with the requirements of the statute, that returning the the children to either parent at this time would cause a substantial risk of harm to the children's life, physical health, or mental well-being, because we have a few sort of outstanding issues here that need to be cleaned up. That for that reason, the children should not be returned today. That reasonable efforts have been made to preserve and reunify the family and make it possible for these children to return safely home. That those reasonable efforts continue. That in accordance with the statute, progress towards alleviating or mitigating the conditions that cause the children to be placed or remain in temporary foster care has not been made by either parent. That's just, that finding has to be made because I can't return today. That the children's continued placement is necessary and appropriate, is meeting each of their needs. That once KRP is in place for each parent individually, and once the home visit has occurred with Ms. Woodenberg's home and it's deemed to be appropriate, and that once Mr. Thomas's employment has been verified, independently verified, then the court finds that placement would no longer be necessary or appropriate for RJ, that the needs of the child can be met in a foster family home, the court order, well, let's see. The court orders that the children continue in the protective and temporary custody of the court, continue their placement with the Department for Care and Supervision, that RJ be released to either or both parents under the supervision of the department once KRP is in place for each parent and the conditions that I mentioned a few minutes ago have been fulfilled. Once that happens, the following terms and conditions apply to each parent, which is that they fully comply with DHHS and its contract agencies, that the adjudicated respondents comply with and benefit from their case service plan, that parenting time for each parent is at the discretion of the department. And I'm sorry, I'll go back. The siblings are having appropriate visits. I'll continue the attorneys. And Ms. Woodenberg, you have your hand up. What would you like to say?
I do want the courts to know that on Friday, this Friday, the 13th, I will be celebrating a year sober. And I
I
think
was
that's
just about to tell you congratulations, because I was doing the math and everybody's talking about 6 months. I'm like, no, I think it's been a lot longer than that. So congratulations. In fact, everybody give her a round of applause. That is huge. You should be very proud of yourself, and we're all very proud of you because we know how hard that is.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
That's huge.
It is.
Congratulations. So yeah, both of you are very close to having the court out of your life, and I just encourage you both to keep on doing what you're doing. We will set another review hearing, and we'll also make that a permanency planning hearing in 3 months. And Ms. Gibson, do you have a date and time for us?
Yes, Your Honor, September 3rd from 10 to 11 a.m.
Any conflicts with that date or time?
No,
I'm looking right now. Works here.
works for me.
Okay. And yes. So, and I'll just indicate that I'll just remind everybody that if significant progress is made, you don't have to wait for a court hearing. There are court rules in place to make this move a little faster. Or if we need to move up the hearing, just let me know or let my staff know. All right?
Your
Okay.
Honor.
Yes.
Your Honor, just to clarify, is the court then lifting the no contact order in our case as to mom and allowing at least some contact between Anaya and Ms. Woodenberg once the therapist feels it's appropriate and if Anaya likewise is ready.
Yeah, I believe my order was that it be at the discretion of the agency. So
That,
I'm
that-
not going to put all those conditions in there because I think everybody understands that those are the conditions.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Present in the virtual courtroom for this hearing are the mother, Mariah Woodenberg, her attorney, Kendra Ortega, attorney Donna Mobilia for the fathers, Father Robert Thomas, children's attorney Roman Kosorik, various agency workers, and foster parents. Mr. Kosorik.
Thank you. I will call Miss Jana Selden Townsend.
And do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Ms. Townsend, you are employed by your agency in what capacity?
I am the foster care case manager for the case.
For this family here, and you are employed, of course, by Wellspring Lutheran Services. You are a pretty new caseworker on this matter, correct?
That is correct.
Did you have a chance to review the case file and review the matter with your supervisor and maybe the prior worker?
That is correct.
You feel confident you can testify in this case here today?
That is correct.
Your Honor, before I proceed with testimony, I have 4 proposed exhibits that I provided to the court and counsel. If I could simply list them.
Yes, please.
Number 1 being proposed case service plan with attached PAAs and the honorable judge report. The date of the case service plan is August 1st of this year. As proposed, number 2, there's a addendum dated 8/27 of 25. As proposed, number 3, there's a packet of forensic fluid laboratory results for Mr. Thomas. And as number 4, there's a packet of forensic fluid lab screen results for Ms. Woodenberg.
Any objection?
No
No
objection.
objection, thank you.
They are admitted.
Thank you. Ms. Woodenberg, let's talk about this case. Let's start with the unknown father. We still have an unknown father for Anaya, correct?
Correct.
Did you or your agency attempt to identify a either legal or biological father for Anaya?
That is correct. There were efforts made to locate the father and try to figure out who the father was, but as of right now, we haven't found anything yet.
All right. Let's move on to the known parents. Let's start with Mr. Thomas. Can you update the court on Mr. Thomas's progress? He is the biological and legal father to, I believe, RT. We call him RJ just for the record, correct?
Correct.
And can you tell us about the progress that he's made during this report period?
So it appears that it has been touch and go with Mr. Thomas. He has not been doing his drug screens as he was supposed to. With home visits, he isn't really willing to let the agency worker come into the home and go over the home visit tool with him.
And that's because, if I may interrupt, he is currently living with some friends.
That is correct.
And the friends don't want any agency members visiting their home. Is that what he's stating?
I cannot attest to that. I am not sure.
I believe it was in a report somewhere, but if not, please continue about his progress.
Okay. So he is currently residing with friends in the Grand Rapids area. He did report that he doesn't want the foster care worker in the home due to the friends and, things like that, not wanting to be in the home and not wanting to participate in that. Mr. Robert did say that he can move back with his mother should reunification occur. And this was confirmed by Mr. Thomas' mother. Mr. Thomas borrows a car from his friends. He takes RJ to and from school. Mr. Thomas stated that opportunities from employment throughout the reporting period. Mr. Thomas has had a job and provided the caseworkers with verification of employment as far as pay stubs. However, he is no longer working at that job that he provided the pay stubs for. The caseworker did ask about his work schedule to try to, come up with some times where he can drug test and do visits, whether it is at his home or maybe at a, mutual location. He was provided with gas cards and he does complete a budget every 3 months for his financial situation. And yeah, like I said before, he hasn't really been drug tested, so we don't know if he is sober or not. We would like Mr. Thomas to start participating in those services again, as far as drugs testing, parenting time at the agency, and hopefully getting to see him in person and kind of touching base about the case, just so everyone is on the same page.
Your addendum indicates that Mr. Thomas participated in 0 out of 13 drug screens that he was randomly called to do.
That is correct.
Has he been informed that presumptively, if he misses those drug screens, it is presumptively positive?
That is correct.
And I see that the screens that he did do on 8/8 of 25, that was outside of his randomly called numbers, they came back positive for THC, correct?
That is correct.
And that is a concern whether or not he is still abusing THC?
That is correct.
Currently, he's not employed. He doesn't have his own housing.
Does not have his own housing, and I do not know his employment status as of right now.
Okay. However, his parenting time go well, reportedly.
I do not want to confirm or deny that. So far, I haven't heard anything negative about the parenting time, so I'm gonna just leave it at that.
All right. Do you know whether or not he's attended every parenting time, or has he missed some?
No, he hasn't missed any parenting times.
All right. And are there any other services that you believe Mr. Thomas could utilize to help him be a better parent?
I would say, start participating in the home visits, start drug screening again, making sure that he's compliant with this agency's expectations in order to kind of get that reunification process, allow that to keep going. Yeah.
Right. And then Mr. Thomas's mother is actually the placement for his son, which is RT, correct?
Yes.
And the relative placement has been appropriate throughout this case, to your knowledge?
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's move on to the mother, Ms. Woodenberg. Can you update the court on her progress?
Yes. Ms. Woodenberg has been doing good as far as maintaining employment, providing the agency with verification of employment. She was participating in drug screenings from August 1st. She did stop doing those, due to miscommunication. She did just move into her new home. It is under renovation, but that is a huge step in her progress.
Have you had a chance to visit that new home?
I will be visiting that new home on Friday.
Please continue.
Okay. So Ms. Woodenberg is able to get a license as a restricted license, but this will allow her to have more transportation options because right now she is taking the bus. Ms. Woodenberg is able to participate in an appropriate schedule to ensure that she arrives at the places on time and is able to maintain her schedule to ensure to meet her needs for her child and herself. Ms. Woodenberg has been able to successfully demonstrate her emotional stability through the reporting period. Ms. Woodenberg acknowledges that her drinking has caused these events to occur. So she's aware that due to her decisions, this is why this transpired. She takes full accountability for that, and she's working towards being better for herself and her child. Parenting skills are a kind of a concern as far as, it goes with her and Anaya, but her and RJ, they're doing good. They're still doing overnights. There hasn't been anything reported to go negatively.
Let me just interrupt and remind everyone we need to be using the children's initials.
Yeah. So the agency would like to return RJ to Miss Woodenberg's home this Friday.
All right. I understand that RT or RJ, as we call him, has been returned, at least placed with mom last week. However, that was pulled back. What was the reason for that?
The reason for that was we didn't receive a drug screen from her since August 1st. And due to the miscommunication between her and the past worker, she was under the impression that she no longer needed to drug screen. But I did contact her and call her and let her know that she does need to continue to drug screen. And that we will kind of postpone the return home of RJ due to that reason. And she did drug screen last week. We are waiting for those results, and we want to place him back into the home on Friday.
Any concerns that Ms. Woodenberg is currently maybe had fallen off the wagon?
There has been some, not from me personally, but there has been some concerns from, I believe, her mom about her possibly drinking again. But like I said, I cannot attest to that because we don't have that screening back yet. But from what I've heard from KRP, she seems to be pretty, in the right mind, in the right state. When I talk to her over the phone or when we text, she seems to be pretty compliant, pretty able to understand everything that's going on. As soon as I told her that she needs to drug test, she called her right away, and she showed up to the agency within a few hours after. So it seems like she's going on the right path.
All right, so we just simply need to keep an eye on that for a period of time, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. So Ms. Woodenberg's reunification with RT or RJ seems to be on the right track, and it's going pretty good, correct?
That is correct.
However, are you aware of the fact that Ms. Woodenberg and her parenting time with Anaya, should it begin, is very uncomfortable or resistant to having supervised parenting time with I should say, AW?
That is correct. That is what I've heard from the caregivers.
And that is concerning?
That is concerning.
Likewise, there were at least some attempts to have counseling, joint counseling between AW and Ms. Woodenberg, and according to what I've gleaned, it appears that Ms. Woodenberg is not open to that counseling either, correct?
That is correct.
And that is concerning likewise.
That is concerning.
All right. All right, so let's move on to the children. RT is up to date on all of his medical and dental checkups.
That is correct.
He is in school.
He is in school.
And he's attending on a regular basis.
That is correct.
He's doing well in school.
He's doing good in school.
All right, who's taking him, transporting him to school and back home?
I believe it's his father and his mother. They kind of go back and forth depending on who has him at the time, whether it's his caregivers or his mother, whether she's doing overnights with him. I know that she told me on the phone that he usually goes to school from her house and she picks him up.
And he really misses his mom and his dad, doesn't he?
That is correct.
All right. Any concerns about RT at this point?
There are no concerns at this point for RT.
All right. Let's move on to AW. Is she up to date on all her medical and dental checkups?
She is up to date.
Currently and throughout this case, she has been placed in, I believe, a licensed foster home.
That is correct.
And how is she doing in that foster home?
She's doing okay. There are some concerns for her mental health and her eating habits. She did disclose that with the past case worker as well as her caregivers. We do want to keep an eye on that just because she does kind of struggle emotionally and behaviorally with her everyday movements and actions. But overall, she's doing okay. She did just get a car. She is on a budget. Her caregivers are trying to teach her how to manage her money responsibly. But like I said, we do need to keep an eye on her mental health and well-being. That is a concern.
She was quite busy during the summertime, during the vacation. At least she went to 2 different camps during her stay.
That is correct.
And she really enjoyed the camp style.
That is correct.
And after the camp, she also had a fallback in her mental health. And is that being addressed?
That is being addressed. She is doing counseling. She struggles with ED, but she's doing better. So yeah, it is being worked on and monitored.
All right. And where is she in counseling currently?
I believe she is in counseling. 1 second. I believe she's in counseling. She's with the EFC program, and then
Right.
the EFC program.
Right. And that is progressing well.
That is progressing well.
There is a bond that's reported between the EFC worker and AW.
Yes.
Good. There was also some concern about her dabbling with marijuana use during this report period.
That was a concern that she was doing that.
However, it appears that that has been addressed appropriately by her and the foster parents.
That is correct.
And at this point, we have no concerns going any further with that issue, correct?
We do not, but that will continue to be monitored.
All right. She doing well in school?
She's doing well in school, yes.
And the permanency plan, at least goal for AW currently, is alternative either reunification or independent living.
That is correct. Alpha.
All right, and she has expressed interest in APLA more than in reunification at this point, based upon some of the issues with her mom that have been ongoing.
Yes.
Wonderful. Anything else about AW?
Not right now.
Right. This is a permanency planning hearing. Will the return? Let's start with just one child at a time. With the return of RT or RJ home to his parent or parents today because of substantial risk of harm to his health, physical health, mental health, or well-being?
No.
So you are recommending that this child be returned home today?
No, not today. Friday.
So there is currently a substantial risk of harm if we returned RT back home today, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. With the initiations of termination.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt. Could you specify what the conditions are that you need to have met before return on Friday? I'll have to specify that in the order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The returns are, we would like him to start screening again, the father to start screening again. He has not been screening. And for mom as well. We want mom to start screening. We want some tests to come back clean to make sure that she has not relapsed.
And likewise, KRP is in place.
Yes.
And how long can KRP continue for the parent's home, which is the mother at this time, Miss Woodenberg?
I believe the end date is around 3 months.
Okay. So they're ready to go. Should RT be returned home on Friday?
Yes.
Good. So with the initiation of termination proceeding as to RT would be in his best interest today.
No.
And that's because Ms. Woodenberg has made substantial progress and the plan is to return RT home to mom, correct?
Yes.
Has the current foster home or the relative foster home provided a reasonable and prudent parenting standard as defined in a statute, and that RT had the regular opportunity to engage in age or developmentally appropriate activity?
Yes.
Can you give us an example?
RJ is thriving in his placement. He's doing really well in school. He has been participating in extracurricular activities. He seems like a very happy kiddo. There are really no concerns as far as his behavior goes, emotionally, mentally. He seems like he's in good spirits when he's with his mother. Like I said, he's doing really well in school. So that's like the main thing.
And both RT and AW have regular sibling visits?
That is correct.
All right. Let's move on to AW. Would the return of her home to her parents cause a substantial risk of harm to her physical or mental well-being?
Yes.
And would the initiation of termination proceeding be appropriate as to AW?
No.
And that is because she would have to consent since she's over the age of 14 and she is making progress in her PPH goal at this point by recommendation of the agency would be APLA, correct?
Yes, and she's interested in APLA.
Wonderful. Has the out-of-home placement followed the reasonable and prudent parenting standards as defined in a statute, and that AW has had the regular opportunities to engage in age or developmentally appropriate activities?
Yes.
Can you give us an example?
Even though she is struggling a little bit with her mental, she did do camp. She is doing good in school. She's very respectful, open and honest, and she is learning to budget her money, as well as her caregivers purchasing a car for her, which helps her learn those independent living skills that will build her up for the future.
And speaking of the car, if I could touch base on that, it was the foster parents who expended the initial payment for the car.
That is correct.
And they have applied through the agency for a reimbursement of those costs?
That is correct.
And is that being done in a timely manner?
We are working on getting reimbursement through YIT.
Thank you. Your recommendations here today?
Okay. My recommendations to the court will be, it is respectfully recommended that Anaya and Robert Jr. continue to remain temporary court wardens under the care and supervision of the Department of Health and Human Services and Wellspring Lutheran Services. Anaya remain placed with her relative placement or licensed foster home. Robert Jr. who remain placed in the home with Ms. Wonderberg or licensed foster home or relative home. Ms. Wonderberg and Mr. Thomas comply with the benefits from the parent agency treatment plan. Mr. Thomas parenting times remain supervised or unsupervised at the agency's discretion. Ms. Wonderberg's parenting times be supervised or unsupervised at the agency's discretion. The permanency goal remain reunification. This matter be reviewed in 30 days respectfully.
If I can just clarify, you were asking for reunification for RT, however, either reunification or APLA for AW, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And I believe that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Ortega.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a few brief questions. Have you asked AW if she's ready to see her mom at all?
I have not touched base with her personally, but I did speak on the phone this morning with her caregiver, and he did mention to me that she is interested in, kind of doing supervised parenting times with her mom, kind of getting that bond back built. But then it was kind of touch and go with that because I'm hearing something from the caregivers versus hearing something from her attorney. So right now, I just want to have a talk with her before proceeding with that parenting time, just a one-on-one, and see where her head is at with that.
Okay. And then, I think that was the only one. Thank you.
Well,
All right, thank you. Ms. Mobilia.
Thank you, Your Honor. With regard to Mr. Thomas, I'm kind of going to summarize it. He lives with friends, but if reunification was going to take place, he'd live with his mother, whose home is appropriate, correct?
that is correct.
Right. And he is employed now, but you can't verify his income because he's paid under the table, correct?
That is correct.
But he's preparing a budget for you.
That is correct.
And have you asked to see like bank accounts or so that you could see money deposited or anything like that?
No, but I can.
Okay. And with regard to any other services, he doesn't really need any other services except you want him to drug screen, correct?
I do want him to drug screen.
Okay. And it's fair to say that this case has had numerous workers, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And both my client and Ms. Ortega's client have complained about not being able to know who to be in touch with at the agency. Okay. So is that going to be rectified now? Are you going to be the worker that they know they can contact?
Yes.
Okay. And with regard to his test was positive for marijuana. Marijuana is legal, right?
That is correct.
And the case law is that it has to impact his parenting time. Has there been any indication that him testing positive for marijuana has impacted his parenting time?
I don't want to confirm or deny that, but there is a safety plan in place for his THC use.
So you don't know?
No
Well, you've
concerns
heard
have
from
been
the work,
reported.
you've heard from people who've seen his parenting time, there's not an issue, correct?
That is correct. No concerns have been reported.
And he takes RJ, and actually through most of this case, he's taken RJ to school and picked him up every day.
That is correct.
Okay. And the parties get along together, correct?
That is correct.
And they've actually, if this case does close with regard to RJ, they've already formulated a parent agency, well, a parenting time arrangement. Fair to say?
Fair to say. Yes, ma'am.
So the agency is going to close the case with regard to RJ if she successfully completes KRP.
That is correct.
And that would also discharge RJ as well as Mr. Thomas from this case.
That is correct.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kasorik, any follow-up?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Townsend, real quickly, page 37 of the case service plan, at the bottom of page 37 under best interest of child placement as to the father, it indicates that recent conversations with RJ, which is RT, in a recent conversation, he has stated that he does not want to discuss discipline because he does not want to get his dad in trouble. Is that a concern for the agency?
That is a concern. This is a CPS complaint. So the CPS complaint, yes.
Do you know what happened with that CPS complaint? Was it substantiated or was it still being in progress?
I believe it is still in progress. Nope, it's been closed. Sorry, it's been
All
closed.
right. But that causes at least a little bit of concern for the agency because of that statement by RJ, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Ms. Ortega, any follow-up?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Mobilia?
If the CPS closed the case, that means it was unsubstantiated, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Kosarik, any follow-up?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Ortega?
No, Your Honor.
Any additional witnesses, Mr. Kosarik?
No, thank you.
Ms. Ortega, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Mobilia?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Kosarik, statement?
Thank you. I did have the opportunity to visit both children and their current placements. I find that AW's placement is very appropriate. The foster parents are really involved with AW and are very helpful to her through this tough times and her challenges that she is going through. I have no issues in speaking with AW. She's indicated that she would like to have at least some supervised contact with her mother. However, she's indicated that mother is not willing to have that supervised contact with her, so that is concerning for me and to AW. Likewise, she did indicate to me that she would really like to go APLA and independent living in at some point, Your Honor, and I believe that that would be the best permanency goal for that child. As far as RT is concerned, I did visit him in his current placement. He's always a happy kid, dressed very nicely, very active and talkative. He's doing well in that placement. With some concern, I believe that the permanency goal of return to Ms. Woodenberg of RT is appropriate. Likewise, I think that the recommendations are appropriate. I just want to take it easy with both children based upon the issues that we had in the past, and hopefully the parents will start screening again appropriately. So I would ask that the court adopt the recommendations of the agency currently, and hopefully this is going to be our sixth, I believe, and last worker on this case. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ortega?
Thank you, Your Honor. As to RJ, I believe the recommendation is appropriate. I would ask the court give permission to the agency to submit a case closure notice should they deem the case should be closed prior to the next hearing for him, and should he be returned by this Friday. And it may not take KRP to work that long with Ms. Woodenberg. For AW, it does appear that she might be open to parenting times. And so I know we've gone a long time with not doing any kind of order that allows for supervised parenting time. But I would ask the order would allow for supervised parenting time. I do think it's appropriate for the worker to check with the child herself to see if she's willing and open and make that determination with her therapist. And also I'd encourage the new worker to check with Ms. Woodenberg, because it's not my understanding she would be cooperative with a therapist and meeting with that therapist in AW. So it's the first time hearing of it that she wouldn't be. So I'd ask her to review that again. And finally, Your Honor, I'd ask for permission to be dismissed from the hearing at this point. And I'll read the court's orders in the final order, the written order, just because I'm late for a hearing.
Yes, you're dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Mobilia?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll indicate to the court that it's been a little frustrating for my client having to deal with so many workers. He really doesn't know who he's supposed to talk to, and with gaps in who's taking over the case and so forth. He does support reunification with Ms. Woodenberg. The parties have talked and discussed what parenting time should look like. My client has always taken the child to and from school, and unfortunately, because this worker is new, my client, and the position has always been, if it was reunification with my client, he could live in his mom's home, who has been the caregiver the whole time. So I asked the court to adopt the recommendations with the understanding that we know that maybe this case will close sooner with regard to RT and my client. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. The court finds that the lawyer guardian ad litem has complied with the requirements of the statute. that returning this child to a parent today would cause a substantial risk of harm to the child's life, physical health, or mental well-being, that the children should not be returned to a parent today. The agency should not initiate proceedings to terminate parental rights to these children because both parents are making substantial progress in their treatment plans, and the goal for AW is concurrent APLA. And also there's a strong bond by both children with their parents. That reasonable efforts have been made to preserve and reunify the family, make it possible for these children to safely return home. Those reasonable efforts should be continued. In accordance with the statute, progress towards alleviating or mitigating the conditions that cause the children to be placed or remain in temporary foster care has not been made by either parent, and that's just reflects the fact that the court can't return these children to a parent today. That the children's continued placement is necessary and appropriate, is meeting each of their needs. That RJ's or RT placement is no longer necessary or appropriate once one or both parents are submitting negative drug screens. That the needs of both children can be met in a foster family home. That reasonable efforts have been made to finalize the court-approved permanency plan of return to a parent for both of these children. That permanency planning goal is no longer appropriate for AW and shall be concurrent return to a parent and APLA due to her age and her expressed desires. That the foster homes have followed the reasonable, prudent parenting standard, and that each of these children have had regular opportunities to engage in age or development and appropriate activities. The children or the siblings are not in joint placement because RJ is placed with the paternal grandmother, and the other is placed with fictive kin. Sibling contact is occurring according to law. The court orders that the children continue in the protective and temporary custody of the court and continue their placement with the Department for Care and Supervision. That RJ be released to Robert Thomas and or Ms. Woodenberg under the supervision of the department once either of them is submitting negative drug screens. That whichever parent this RJ returns home to comply with and fully cooperate with DHHS and its contract agencies. That the adjudicated respondents comply with and benefit from the case service plan. That continue the order of agency discretion regarding parenting time of Ms. Woodenberg, supervised or unsupervised by its designee. Parenting time of Mr. Thomas also continues, given the agency discretion to allow unsupervised or supervised parenting time by its designee. Continue the attorneys in this matter. This doesn't need to be in the order, but the court or the agency can certainly submit a JC 36 if at any point either of these children are placed back with a parent and it does not appear to be necessary for the case to continue. And Ms. Gibson, do we have a date for a review hearing in 30 days?
Yes, Your Honor, October 2 from 9 to 10.
Any conflicts with that date or time? That's not 90 days.
That's 30 days.
I thought you said 30 days.
90 days.
Okay, I'm sorry. 90 days would be December 2 At 9 o'clock, 9 to 10.
Okay, any conflicts with that date of time?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
And we don't have Ms. Ortega to clear with, but if she has a conflict, she can let the court know and we'll go back to the drawing board on a date.
Present in the virtual courtroom, we have Mother Mariah Woodenberg, her attorney, Kendra Ortega, father's attorney, Donna Mobilia, children's attorney, Roman Kasorik, and various agency workers as well as a foster parent.
And it looks like my client is also joining Ms. Marquette, Your Honor.
Okay.
So Naya is here with us.
All right.
And I'll just indicate for the record, Your Honor, that Mr. Thomas is not present, but I have no objection to continuing.
All right. Thank you. All right. And Mr. Kasork, do you believe it's in your client's best interest to attend this hearing?
Your Honor, she is 16 going on 26, as I usually say, and she's pretty mature. I ask her every time if she would like to come, at least to the PPHs. And sometimes, well, most of the time she says no. However, she's old enough. If she would like to listen in, I have no objections. Thank you.
Okay, I agree. I just wanted to cover that before we get started. All right, Mr. Kasorik.
Thank you. I will call Ms. DeCam.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Ms. DeCam. You are employed by Wellspring Lutheran Services in the capacity of a foster care manager.
That's correct.
And you have just taken this case on about a month or so ago.
A little over a month, yes.
Yes, it looks like on October 1st.
Yes.
Wonderful. Did you have a chance to review the full file?
Yes.
So you feel confident you can testify here today as to the progress in this case?
I do.
Wonderful. Your Honor, for this hearing here today, I have several exhibits. If I could simply run through the numbers and what they are.
Please do.
Proposed number 1 being the case service plan with attached PATPs dated October 29th of 25, including there are several emails, communication from Ania's school counselor. As proposed number 2, we have a court addendum that was signed on November 25th of this year. As proposed number 3, there is a packet of forensic fluid tests for my client Ania. And as number 4, we have a packet of forensic fluid packet for the mother, Miss Woodenberg.
Any objection?
No objection.
Objection.
All right, they're admitted.
Thank you. Ms. DeCam, let's update the court on the progress in this case. Let's start first of all with our RT, which we usually call RJ, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And how is RJ doing? I know he's been placed back in his mother's care since September of this year.
Yes, that's correct. He's doing very well. He was placed back in his mother's care on September 12th, and he's adjusted appropriately to this placement. His mother reports no significant behavioral issues at home since RT was returned to her. He's in 2nd grade at Wyoming Public Schools. He has had some behavioral issues in school, such as leaving class to wander the halls, having difficulty listening and following directions. His mother thinks that these issues come from him having difficulty understanding the content being taught in class. So we've been in contact with the school about extra tutoring. And additionally, the mother and the school are in the process of establishing an IEP to address these behaviors. Other than that, he's in good physical health, up to date on medical and dental. He has glasses, but he doesn't like wearing them. So Ms. Woodenberg is working on that, encourages him to wear them.
Are there any needs that this child could benefit from currently?
We do not believe so. He's been referred to Wedgwood Christian Services for individual therapy, but because he has not demonstrated significant behaviors, his mother believes that individual therapy is not necessary at this time. He is an IEP in development and engages with the Kent reunification program, but overall is doing very well.
KRP is in place.
Yes.
And what did they report? I don't believe we have any written reports from them. So can you tell the court what they report?
Yeah, I've been in communication with the KRP workers, and they've reported RJ's doing very well. They are also aware of the behavioral issues at school, but overall believe that he's adjusted well to his return home to mom and are in favor of closing his case.
Wonderful. Anything else about that young man?
No.
Let's move on to AW, who's here. Can you update the court on her progress? I know that she has recently changed placements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct. Also doing very well. Moved to a new placement on the 15th of October. And then with this move, AW also transferred schools. So she's in the 11th grade. And reports really enjoying it. Her grades were being transferred over from her previous school. And when they were transferred, she was failing 2 classes, but I'm happy to report that one of those grades has already moved up to a passing grade, involved in a study group, meets with the academic counselor. And again, the caregivers and myself are both closely involved with Anaya or AW and with the school.
All right. And please go ahead. I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. I was just going to continue on my report, but I can wait for a specific question if you'd prefer.
All right. And are there any needs that need to be addressed for AW?
AW's biggest struggle right now remains substance use. She has a history of using marijuana, but has expressed a desire to quit and has made progress toward quitting. So we began drug screening Anaya, and she's been very compliant, and also has been referred to Wedgwood Christian Services for outpatient substance use therapy.
She has been referred. Has that therapy started yet?
The initial appointment is scheduled for December 16th.
Why is it taking so long?
Originally, Anaya was intending to work on substance use with her individual therapist, as she's also in individual therapy. But after several weeks of trying to quit using individual therapy, it was decided that more targeted therapy was necessary.
And I guess the positive, and I don't mean the screens, but positive thing about AW is her transparency in speaking about her substance abuse and admitting that she is using and it's hard for her to stop, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
And that goes a long way in therapy, does it not?
Absolutely.
Good. And of course, recently we had an order prohibiting her from driving her automobile that she has until we are sure that the devil of THC and substance abuse has been cured, correct?
That's correct. We have a safety plan in place for when AW does begin to test negative for substance use and how she may regain use of her vehicle.
And how is her relationship currently with her current foster parents? And after that, I'll ask you about if she still has a relationship with her former foster parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AW's relationship with our current caregivers is very good. They're effective communicators with one another, get along. Obviously, with any new placement comes an adjustment period, but I've heard nothing but great reports from the caregivers about AW and good reports about the caregivers from AW.
So the adjustment has been going very well.
Yes.
And likewise, I believe that she did spend some time with her former foster parents just recently.
Yes, that's correct. AW spent a weekend with her former foster parents doing respite care when her caregivers were out of town. And that also was reported to me that it went very well. That her former caregivers were very impressed and proud of AW for her progress.
I think we all are, aren't we?
Yes.
And she is also planning on going during the Christmas break with her new foster parents to Canada.
Yes.
And we did have an order, and likewise, I believe that Ms. Woodenberg gave permission.
Yes, that's correct.
But we would like to wear both belt and suspenders in that case due to the ice issues lately. Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's move on to parenting times.
If I could just interject, does she have a passport or an enhanced driver's license?
Yes.
I
Yep.
see.
She
I
does.
see
I
head
believe had
nod. I
an
just
enhanced driver's license. Yes.
okay, great.
Yeah,
I just all of a sudden it occurred to me that we wanted to make sure that that had been
I got an official copy of her birth certificate as well, just in case.
okay. Great.
Good. Thank you. All right, parenting times. I know we had some challenges in that lately, so what's going on?
Yeah. So during this reporting period, AW expressed a desire to resume parenting times with mom, and these parenting times remain supervised by the agency. Unfortunately, of the 5 scheduled parenting times, mom has canceled 4. And AW tends to get upset when these visits are canceled to the point where if she learns of a cancellation during school, it can negatively affect her academically. So we've taken steps to mitigate some of this trauma, asking mom to confirm the evening prior to the scheduled visit if she is planning on attending. There was one parenting time that did occur on 11/24, and another one will be occurring tomorrow. And I have received a report from the supervising case aide that the visit went very well, no issues.
That's great. Do you think maybe parenting time should be also involve a counselor?
We are pursuing family therapy between AW and Ms. Woudenberg.
The way I read your reports, there's still a little bit of conflict between AW and her mother.
It seems to be that way. I know they had an argument on the phone recently, which led to a cancellation of a parenting time. And AW has expressed to me frustration at the canceled parenting visits. But I do know that the time they spent together was very amicable.
And did you have a discussion with Ms. Woudenberg that missed family parenting times with AW is detrimental to their relationship?
I did, and also informed Ms. Woudenberg that in order to pursue reunification, which Ms. Woudenberg says she desires, parenting visits are necessary.
Okay. Any other services you believe the family could utilize currently?
Not at this time.
Does AW and RJ have sibling contact on a regular basis?
They do, yes. They AW's caregivers are excellent about facilitating sibling contact between RJ and AW. In addition, the supervised parenting times also generally include RJ, so they see each other at least once a month, but often more than that.
And have you spoken with AW about her desires for permanency, what her goal may be?
Yes, AW's ultimate goal at the moment remains reunification. She believes, with if her and her mom both make the effort, that reunification is possible, and that's what she's working toward.
Are you still recommending that the current permanency goal of reunification and concurrent goal of APLA continue?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas, can you give us an update on him? I believe that he's incarcerated currently.
Yes, Mr. Thomas is incarcerated in Jackson, Michigan. I was not aware Mr. Thomas was incarcerated until the end of October, so I spent several weeks trying to contact him by phone, obviously was unsuccessful. It was around the end of October that Ms. Woudenberg informed me that he is incarcerated. Since finding out, I've been in contact with him through an introduction letter and in providing him worksheets on substance abuse and mental health for individuals who are incarcerated. Prior to incarceration, he had consistent parenting times with RJ. Since incarceration, he speaks to RJ on the phone often, and Ms. Woudenberg reports these conversations go well with Mr. Thomas, encouraging him to behave at home and to do well in school.
Do you know the reason why he's incarcerated?
I do not.
Will you follow up on that?
Yes, I have looked it up. I just don't recall.
Thank you. All right. Tell us a little bit about progress that Ms. Woudenberg had made. in her parent agency agreement, and still, if there are any needs that are being unmet.
Yeah. First, I guess I want to congratulate Ms. Woodenberg on her sobriety. She's maintained it for, I think, around 18 months. It's very impressive. She happily participates in alcohol and drug screenings. All of these have been negative since this report started this reporting period. And to help maintain her sobriety, she's involved with the rehabilitation program at Our Hope and attends AA meetings as needed. I'm also happy to share that she's featured on Our Hope's Christmas card this year as an exemplary sobriety story, and I think that's pretty amazing.
That's great.
Yes. Ms. Woodenberg was employed at a local hotel. On 11/12, she informed me that she had resigned from this position, citing transportation costs as the main barrier. But to rectify that, she obtained a vehicle and informed me on 11/21 and had her ignition interlock device installed on December 2nd. So once she obtains the legal requirements to drive, she has received a verbal job offer from Our Hope and will pursue that. She's friendly, easy to communicate with, but the biggest barrier for Ms. Woodenberg is her parenting time with Anaya. So as we discussed, Anaya expressed interest in reinstating parenting times, but of the 6 scheduled visits, only 1 has occurred. She's canceled the other visits for various reasons, including she had a prior obligation at Our Hope. She had an argument with Anaya or AW, and apologize, I'm blanking. And she was unhappy with visits being supervised by the agency.
Does the agency and you believe that at this time supervised visits are very appropriate?
We do. Given the history between Ms. Woodenberg and AW, as well as the new development of parenting times, the agency believes that supervised visits are appropriate until AW and Ms. Woodenberg can establish a good rhythm, and then we can start looking toward unsupervised.
And I know throughout the proceedings, there was concerns about Ms. Woodenberg accepting responsibility for the children being in care. Has that been addressed appropriately?
So Ms. Woodenberg has expressed to me that she understands that she is responsible, her actions are responsible for the children being in care. The agency still hopes to see family therapy between AW and Ms. Woodenberg to further address this accountability.
Has that counseling, family counseling, begun yet?
It has not. So we were referred to family counselors from Anaya's individual therapist. Ms. Woodenberg has been provided with this list of recommended therapists, has told me she followed up with one, but that therapist was not a good fit, and has continued working with KRP workers on finding a good provider.
And just to follow up, where do the sibling visits occur?
They have occurred in various places. When AW's caregivers have taken them to a restaurant where AW works, they've occurred at the parental home, and they have occurred at the AW's caregiver's home.
Okay. Anything else about this case you believe is important?
Nope.
Your recommendations?
It is respectfully recommended that AW remain a temporary court ward under the case and supervision of the Department of Health and Human Services and Wellspring Lutheran Services, that RJ be discharged from court wardship and foster care, that AW remains placed within a relative placement or a licensed foster home, that Ms. Woodenberg comply with and benefit from a parent agency treatment plan, AW's permanency goal be a dual goal of reunification and APLA, and that this matter be reviewed in 90 days.
Thank you.
Ms. Ortega.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions. You said Ms. Woodenberg had a parenting time with AW. It sounds like about 2 weeks ago, the 24th, or is that last week?
Yeah, about a week and a half ago, yes.
Week and a half? Okay. And have there been missed visits between that, or is that kind of the first full, and we're trying to resume these parenting times?
There was a visit scheduled for December 2nd, so Tuesday. That was rescheduled as AW had the norovirus, but is scheduled for tomorrow. So no missed visits really on Ms. Woudenberg's part since the 24th.
Okay, and did you have a conversation with Ms. Woudenberg about how missed visits were affecting AW?
Yes.
Okay. And there's true that there is sort of a well, one of the issues between the two is sobriety and substance use, and Ms. Woudenberg is trying to remain completely sober from all substances.
Yes.
Okay. And so that's caused some sort of friction between mother and daughter.
I believe so. Ms. Woudenberg reported to me once that an THC use sometimes may trigger her sobriety, but other than that, in our conversations, it has not been a significant topic.
Okay, so at this point, it seems that it's something Ms. Woudenberg can work through, and hopefully these visits do resume on a regular basis.
Yes, that is the hope.
Okay, and then at this point in time, you believe that RJ has what he needs in order to recommend case closure?
We do, yes, I do.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Mobilia.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Kosorek, any follow-up?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. And Mr. Kosorek, any additional witnesses?
I have no other witnesses, Your Honor.
Ms. Ortega, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Mobilia, any witnesses?
No witnesses or other evidence, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Kosorek, statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. I did have a chance and opportunity to visit with both RJ with Ms. Woudenberg. He's doing well there. The home is sparse, but it's a pretty good home for the both of them, so I have no concerns there. At this time, this child being with the mother, I believe is appropriate. And I would ask that we do a JC 36 upon a recommendation from the KRP that their services have ended, and they have ended successfully. I don't have any reports on that issue, so I have no objections to discharge through a JC 36 for that young man. I also visited with Anaya, AW, I'm sorry, in her current placement with the new foster mom. She indicates that she's very content and happy there. She is waffling between APLA and reunification with mom. I think that reunification could be appropriate, but I think both Ms. Woudenberg and Anaya really have to, AW really have to work on their relationships, which is at times rocky. So hopefully that can be solved through family therapy. The recommendations are appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ortega.
Thank you, Your Honor. I also agree that the recommendations appear to be appropriate in this case and support those. Thank you.
Ms. Mobilia.
I would agree with the recommendations, Your Honor, and then if the court is going to wait for a J36, that upon receipt of that, then I would be discharged as Mr. Thomas's attorney since his child is RJ Jr.
All right. Thank you. The court finds that the lawyer guardian ad litem has complied with the requirements of the statute. That returning AW would cause a substantial risk of harm to her life, physical health, or mental well-being. That reasonable efforts have been made to preserve and unify the family, make it possible for AW to safely return home. That those reasonable efforts for reunification be continued. That in accordance with the statute, progress towards alleviating or mitigating the conditions that caused AW to be placed or remain in temporary foster care has not been made by Ms. Woudenberg or the unknown father. That AW's continued placement is necessary and appropriate, is meeting that AW's needs. That the needs of AW can be met in a foster family home. That the siblings are not in joint placement because AW is in foster care and RJ or RT is placed with mother. Sibling contact is occurring according to law. The court orders that the children are continued in protective and temporary custody of the court. That RJ is placed with the Department for Care and Supervision. I'm sorry, AW is placed with the Department for Care and Supervision. That RJ remain home with Ms. Bludenberg under supervision of the department. Does Ms. Bludenberg fully cooperate with DHHS and its contract agencies? That Ms. Bludenberg, Mr. Thomas, and the unknown father comply with and benefit from the case service plan. That parenting time of Ms. Woodenberg with AW is supervised until further order of the court. That parenting time of Mr. Thomas is also supervised until further order of the court. Continue the attorneys in this matter. And Ms. Gibson, do we have a date for our next review hearing?
Yes, February 26th at 2:30. Did you want that for another hour or half hour?
Why don't I think a half an hour should be all right.
I would concur, Your Honor.
2:30 to 3 o'clock.
What was that date again? February
26th.
Any conflicts with that date or time?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.